Good morning, Internet. It's another beautiful day in Punta Cana, and we're just leaving our villa and heading out for a nice walk on the beach. People are enjoying breakfast at the buffet, and I got to tell you, the breakfast buffet this year has been really good at the Melia. It's always been good, but this year just seems they picked it up a bit, and it's been fantastic. All the food's been fantastic this year. So a lot of people here, as you can see, a lot of people lying by the pool, enjoying this beautiful weather. And today is absolutely gorgeous. The winds are actually not as bad as they've been. So we decided we're going to take a little walk on the beach towards the deserted section and point out a few attractions along the way. So as you can see, a lot of people enjoying breakfast at Roomba. It's a little windier than I thought it would be, but still not as bad as it's been. And this is something I've got to point out about the Melia, and this is really important when you choose a resort, is look at how expansive the beach is. And I've got to tell you, the neighboring resorts, some of them don't have anywhere near as much beach, not as near as much swimming area. And the big thing here is if you like the sun, there's a lot of sunny spots, but if you like the shade, look at all the palapas here. It is literally one of the most beautiful beachfronts of any resort in Punta Cana. That's something worth considering if you're somebody for who the beach is really important. This is probably the resort you want to be at. So today we're walking at low tide, and as you can see, the beach is very nice. There's a little bit of seaweed, but the hotel staff are taking care of that as we speak. And we are headed facing the ocean to our right, and this is a walk towards a deserted part of the beach, but also in this direction is the flea market. So we're going to point that out to you as we go along. As you can see, there's a beautiful swimming area here, and in a previous video I talked about shark attacks in Punta Cana, and for those of you who haven't seen that video, Punta Cana is one of the safest places you can swim in the ocean. There has only been one single shark bite, and it was non-fatal, that happened in Punta Cana in the last 123 years. That is an incredible safety record. So if you're concerned about swimming in the ocean and getting bitten by a shark, this is probably one of the safest beaches around. Very few sharks here, and that's because there's a reef out there. You can't really see it, but there is a reef out there, and it's very difficult for the sharks to get through. So they tend to stay out in open waters more. They don't like to be in shallow waters where there's a lot of reefs, because they can get trapped. Now, here's another thing I want to point out is these speedboats. You've got to be very careful walking this little stretch of beach here, because what happens is when they bring the boats, they'll go at very high speed along this stretch of water, and then just land on the beach at high speed, and the boat will come up on the beach. That is dangerous. If somebody's walking on the beach, or a little child is walking, and they dart, and the boat is coming in at high speed off the beach, they could get hit, and they'll probably be pretty seriously injured. So, well worth noting that if you're walking this stretch of the beach, always keep an eye on the ocean to make sure there's not a speedboat coming in. And here we have a large group of people arriving. They're probably going on a boat excursion. Oh, this is one of the largest groups I've ever seen. Look at this. And here is a pina colada. Look at this. You can buy fresh pina coladas right on the beach. Here are the tour boats that these fine people are probably going to be going on. So now we're about 5 minutes away from the Melia, and here is the famous jellyfish restaurant with you can come here and enjoy a drink, get a bali bed, and you know, a lot of people at the resort right now, because it's at 100%, they're all scrambling for chairs and for palapas and everything else. Hey, you know what? Pay $10, get a couple of beers, and you got yourself a bed ready to go. So, kind of a good deal. And the food here, by the way, is great. I should mention that. This is a new condo building they built a few years back, and it's absolutely beautiful. And right next to that building is Lopasan. And this is one thing I want to point out is the beachfront again. Lopasan has got a nice beachfront, a lot of palapas. Thing is the swimming area. Look how small it is. So that's something. If you're somebody who enjoys swimming in the ocean, you might be better off at the Melia. It's just got a swimming area that's a little bigger, goes a little further out. Now we're walking at low tide today, and I would strongly recommend, before you go out for a walk, or if you're planning your day, just pull Google up and search Punta Cana tide chart. And that will show you a chart of the tides for the day. And it's so much nicer to walk at low tide than it is at high tide. Now here we're at low tide, and look, you see how the seaweed is pushed up onto the beach and you're walking on nice soft sand. It's just a nicer walk at low tide. Not that walking at high tide is a bad thing, but it's nicer at low tide. Now here's what I meant about the swimming area. As you can see, not much of it. There's a big field of seaweed here, so just my opinion, but I much prefer the swimming area at the Melia. So we are now about 10 minutes out from the Melia Resort, and we're coming up on the flea market, and that's a popular destination. If you're staying at the resort, I would definitely recommend at least one trip to the flea market. It's a great place to buy souvenirs and supplies. If you want beach toys for the kids, good place to do it. You want to get a t-shirt, you know, any kind of souvenir or bottle rum. If you want some vanilla, if you want some coffee, just make sure to negotiate the price and not pay more than what you think something's worth, because they usually quote you a little high, but you can bargain, and they'll probably, after a little bit of bargaining and haggling, they'll come down to a fair price. So here's a look at the flea market. You can't miss it. There's paintings in front of it. There's a white structure. There's some boats here. It's all there. So this walk's going to be quite nice, because in about 15 minutes we're going to make it to the deserted area of the beach. So it's about 20 to 25 minutes from the Melia Resort, and that stretch of beach is absolutely beautiful, especially at low tide like today. It's going to be gorgeous. So here's another look at the market. Now we're going to be coming back to the market on the way back from our walk, because we want to stop at the meeting point bar inside the market, and we'll shoot a little video from there as well. So for now, that's going to be it. I'm going to turn the camera off, and we'll resume when we get to the deserted beach. Hope you enjoyed that. Okay, we are now about 10 minutes past the flea market. So about halfway between the flea market and the deserted beach, and you can see we're in front of the Barcelo Resorts. You can see the Barcelo Pier in the distance. I'm not sure if you can on the camera or not. And in about 10 minutes we will be at the deserted beach. So far we've watched about we walked about, I'd say, 20 minutes since we left the resort, just so you have an idea how long it takes to get there. Another concern people have is sargassum, and I'm not sure you've seen the stories out of Mexico, but the sargassum is pretty bad this year. I just want to show you the beach here. As you can see, there's very little, if any, sargassum this morning. As you can see, the beach, a lot of walking area, low tide walk. Now what you see here, this is not, I'm going to show you this real quick. This is seagrass. That is not sargassum. This here, this is sargassum. You know, you'll notice there's little beads. You see those little green beads? That is sargassum, whereas this is seagrass. But either way you cut it, there's very little this morning, as you can see. Little bit of seagrass, but that's about it. And because it's low tides, oh, it's so pleasant to walk on when the conditions are like this. It's just the best time of the day to go for a walk. So keep an eye on those charts. And here's the thing. The reason you got to look at the charts is because the tides change every day. It's never the same time. They're all over the map. So pull up Google, search Punta Cana tide chart, and you'll find a nice chart that shows you the high tides and the low tides and how they ebb and flow during the day. Okay, we've now been walking for about 20 to 25 minutes, and if I look behind me, this is the end of the Bavaro Resorts. You can see the market there in the distance, and you'll see the sign over here telling you that this is the end of the Bavaro area. And now we are at that beautiful deserted beach, so I'm just going to walk and let you enjoy it, and we're going to make our way up to Dolphin Place, which is about 10 minutes away, and that's a really cool spot to go for a beer and lie in a hammock and just enjoy the day away from the crowds. So let's have a look at this beach. And I'll mention it one more time. You're probably tired of hearing it, but do this beach at low tides or when the tides are lower. It is just gorgeous, much nicer than it is at high tide. Now, another little thing I should mention is that people don't often look up, but sometimes you'll look up in the trees here and you'll see pelicans. This is where they tend to stop to rest. None today. And if you look out into the water, you'll sometimes see sea turtles playing out there. So they're rather elusive. You don't see them often, but they are out there. And even if there were sea turtles out here, the GoPro would probably have a hard time picking them up because they usually just poke their head out, and sometimes they'll do kind of a dive and you see their shells, but it's not like they're up on the beach and frolicking here on the sand. They're in the water. Now, you'll notice there's some trees that are down. You can see there's been a bit of damage from the various hurricanes over the year. And yeah, I gotta mention something about these hurricanes. I've been here right after Hurricane Maria and right after Hurricane Fiona. And Maria was a direct hit on Punta Cana, and it caused quite a bit of damage. It wasn't catastrophic by any stretch, but it did cause quite a bit of damage to the gardens and the trees, so on and so forth. As you can see here, quite a few trees are down. Now, that brings us to Fiona. Fiona was a different beast altogether because it wasn't a direct hit on Punta Cana. It more or less grazed Punta Cana. So it was a little further south, but it did still cause damage and made a mess. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It made a mess. And when we showed up at the Melia 6 weeks ago, you wouldn't have known that a hurricane had grazed the area. That's how good of a job the groundskeepers did and the Melia staff did at bringing the resort back up to 100% operational status, and it's as beautiful as it's ever been. You can see a palm tree in the water. See any turtles today? I don't see any turtles, but they're there. They are there. Now in the distance you will see the pirate ship, and it was damaged the very first day we showed up here. What happened is there was a high wind event, and they were trying to bring the pirate ship to dock it next to its pier. And because the winds were blowing the ship diagonally, the front corner of the boat rammed into the pier and punctured the boat, and I wouldn't say it sank, but it was listing almost at 45 degrees. So they did some nominal repairs back at the other pier, you know, to get it seaworthy enough to bring it down here. And now it's been here for the last 6 weeks near Dolphin Island, and they're doing more extensive repairs. And by the looks of it, I imagine they're going to have it back in business before long. I hope it's not being abandoned here, because there is another boat that was just ditched on the beach here, and it's been there for years. So, and it's kind of, I don't know, ruins this beautiful beach. So I'm hoping that that's not the case with the pirate boat. Mind you, the pirate boat is a little more kind of scenic than the other boat that was beached here. Now we're going to be stopping at Dolphin Island here. We're going to be there in a matter of minutes. But as you can see, you can continue to walk right up to the point here, and that's an additional 20 minutes. And that is a very beautiful walk. I'm feeling kind of good this morning, so I will consult with my beautiful wife here, and we'll see if she would like to continue to walk to the point. It might be a good morning to do it. If a group of people go by and they're doing the hike, we might just kind of follow along, because when you're carrying an expensive camera, it's better to go as a group as opposed to going solo or as a couple. Not that anybody's ever given us any kind of issue here. We've done this walk many times, and nobody's ever approached us or given us any kind of grief. If anything, we have run into a few people along the way, and they've always been very friendly and always took some time to stop and chat with us, which was kind of nice. So right now, I would estimate we're half an hour away from the Melia. When we left the Melia, we were facing the ocean. We went to our right. Now, I say half an hour, that's at my walking pace. If you walk very, very fast, you'll probably get here in 20 minutes. And if you walk more slowly, it'll probably be like 40 minutes. So use 30 as kind of a rough guide on how long it takes to get here. And here we are at Dolphin Island. Now, what is Dolphin Island? It's actually not an island, first of all. It's just a tourist attraction. And it's one of the go swimming with the dolphins and learn all about dolphins and dolphin biology, so on and so forth. And when hotels, when people book this excursion, a bus will pick you up at the hotel, and you'll end up here at Dolphin Island. If you're at the Melia, you can actually just walk down if that's your thing. But if you want to get on a bus, you can get on a bus. Nice little area. There's a bar here. You can get yourself a beer. A lot of picnic tables, as you can see. It's a nice little picnic area. And nobody here today, which is rather unusual. Oh, you know what? It's Sunday today. That explains it. That's one thing about Dominican Republic. I don't know if you knew this, but a lot of things are closed on Sunday. A lot of businesses don't open up, so take note of that. So here's Dolphin Island, and there's nobody here but a security guard. So we've decided that we are going to try to push forward to the very end of the beach here, and it should be rather spectacular because we're walking at low tide. So we decided we're going to give it a shot. And now, the one thing I will tell you, if you're going to do this, bring a pair of sandals, because there are horse tours, guided tours that go down this stretch of beach, and the horses, where there's a horse, there's going to be manure. And you don't want to get manure on your feet if you've got an open sore or anything. So I am just going to stop here for a minute and put on my sandals, and off we go. Now here's the boat I was telling you about. This boat was just kind of abandoned here years ago, and it's been here ever since. I don't think it'll ever sail again. And I love this. Look at this. Somebody set up a little business here. They're selling fresh pineapple, and they've got a little boat so they can bring it out to the tour boats. So that's something else I got to tell you about the Dominican people. They're quite the entrepreneurs. It's not the first business I've seen do something like this, so good for them. Then here's the pirate boat that is under repair. Now, it's not an actual pirate boat. It's a replica. I guess that's should be kind of obvious, given that it's a tour boat. Now, the other good thing about doing this today and doing it now is that there's not loud music coming off the boats here, so you can actually kind of get a sense of the peacefulness that you experience here on Sundays. And that's another thing I should mention. If you do this walk, do it on a Sunday at low tide, because there's not as much noise. It's much quieter. When you come during the week, those tour boats have got the music blaring, and it just takes away from the natural beauty of Punta Cana. So when we talk in terms of safety, here's an actual family here, mom, dad, and the kids, and they're enjoying this beautiful stretch of deserted beach. You see a couple of tourists up on the shore here. So yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned coming out here. If you are concerned, come as a group of 4, and you know, it's safety in numbers, right? Now here's something that is new this year, and this probably happened during Hurricane Fiona, is that you used to be able to just walk across here without any kind of an obstruction. And I guess Fiona pushed the waters up into this little alcove, and the result was some level of erosion. And now you got to kind of trek through the water here a bit. I guess you can go around in there as well, but we're going to try going through the water. Just going to take off my sandals for this little stretch. It's pretty shallow, and you're walking on nice soft sand, so I wouldn't be too concerned about it. There we go. That wasn't so bad. Oh, we have run into a little present from the horse tours there, so the beach has been mined. Look at this. This is beautiful. The water is so warm to walk in, and the nice aquas and blues are shining through today because of the clear skies. Tides are low. Doesn't get any better than this. This is beautiful. See some people in the distance coming our way. Now this, you got to be careful because it's as beautiful as it is, it's kind of sharp to walk on. So we're going to move up onto the beach a little bit. Now wait till you see what's around the corner here. It's just gorgeous. Now, this little area here, sometimes when you're walking, there's a gentleman sitting in here. He sits on this little makeshift shelter here, and he makes some straw hats, you know, not straw, but palm leaf hats. You know those green hats they sell at the beach? He makes them there. All handmade. Look at this. This is just beautiful. I'm hoping the camera is capturing all these beautiful colors because it is pristine. I'm going to keep the camera pointing forward because I'm sure you'd much rather look at this beautiful scenery than my ugly mug. We have more gifts from the horses here. I'd like to point out again that right now we're about 40 minutes from the Melia. So let's say you want to kill a morning, and you know, let's say you have 2 hours to kill. You're staying at the Melia, you've got 2 hours, and you want to go out for a beach hike. Go to your right. And walking to the point here is probably between a 45 to 60-minute walk. So it's an hour down here and then an hour back, and add a half an hour to that if you want to stop for a beer along the way. So what a great way to kill 2 hours if you're staying at the Melia. Nothing like it, really. And the music has started with the boats. I spoke too soon. Somebody's going to have to explain to me why the Dominicans play their music so loud all the time. I don't understand it. It is thunderous. Must take some kind of a audio system and serious wattage to pump out that kind of volume. Now today's episode is going to be a bit longer than my typical episodes. Usually my episodes are between 15 and 20 minutes, but today I'm shooting, this is going to be a bit of a longer episode because we're covering such beautiful ground. Oh, I'm moving up here because it's going to be a little hard to get back up here. Oh, Trisha's got herself trapped. Let's see how she handles this. And here we go. So, look at this. That is an experienced beach walker right there. And look, she's being responsible. She found a piece of broken glass and got rid of it so nobody cuts their foot. A lot of people out here hiking, and we are about to come across the horses. Bonus footage in the episode today. Bonus footage.
It was this.
Now, I should mention there is a trail you can take that goes into the woods here, and that trail will meet up with the beach on the other side of the point. A lot of people do that. I prefer to stay on the beach myself. Oh, Trish just stepped on something that was a little sharp. And here is the horse tour I was telling you about earlier. People go horseback riding here. It's an excursion you can do. And I actually would look this excursion up because it looks like it's a lot of fun. And gentleman's taking pictures of his crew on the horses here. So yeah, I would look up this excursion. It looks really good. I don't want to get too close to the horse. There we go. And here we are at the point. Now, I'm told this is where the Atlantic Ocean meets the Caribbean Sea. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. But it is the furthest point we're going to walk to, and we are going to end the video with this beautiful shot and the shot of this beautiful boat going by here. Look at that. That is a nice excursion. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I will ask you to like and subscribe if my content is helpful. It really helps the channel. And we'll leave you with this. We'll see you in the next video.